by President Uhuru Kenyatta as judges of the Court of Appeal as well as the Environment and Land Court. Among the judges who failed to meet the threshold to be appointed, which is according to the statement released by State House, the Appellate Court include Justice George Odunga and Justice Joel Ngugi, both of whom sat in the 5-judge bench that ruled the BBI as unconstitutional. KTN senior political reporter Chris Tharu begins our broadcast tonight reporting that the president did not give reasons as to why the judges were left out.
Following the push and pull between the president and the judiciary in the appointment of the 41 judges that has now dragged for years, President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally appointed 34 judges from the list. However, 6 of them failed to meet the threshold. Among them is Justice George Odunga, who has served as a judge of the High Court since August 2011. Justice Odunga has been termed as a controversial judge due to his rulings and especially on political matters. During the protracted wars between Jubilee and NASA coalition in the run-up to the 2017 general election, Odunga made landmark rulings on the electoral process which favored the opposition NASA coalition, causing disquiet within Jubilee. Odunga, who was to be elevated to the Court of Appeal, was also part of the 5-judge bench that ruled the BBI process was unconstitutional. Also on that bench was Justice Professor Joel Ngugi. Justice Ngugi was presiding judge of the 5-judge bench that nullified the BBI process. He has been a High Court judge since 2011. In a Gazette notice signed by the president, there were no reasons given as to why the judges failed to meet the threshold.
From the nullification of a presidential election in 2017 to an attempt to stop the will of the people as expressed through the BBI, the judiciary has indeed tested our constitutional limits.
Also on the list of the judges who failed to meet the threshold is Justice Aggrey Muchelule, who has been in the judiciary for close to 4 decades. Muchelule started to serve as a district magistrate in 1982, rising through the ranks as a High Court judge in 2009. Justice Weldon Korir, who has been a High Court judge since 2003, was also among those who failed to meet the threshold to be elevated to the Court of Appeal.
While I stand by the rule of law, and I will always obey the decisions of the courts, I am also compelled by my position to heed the sovereign and supreme voice of the people of Kenya.
Nominees who failed to be appointed as judges in the Lands and Environment Courts include Evans Makuri Kiago, who has been a chief magistrate at the judiciary since 2014. His name was referred back to the Judicial Service Commission for further directions. Judith Elizabeth Omange, who has been serving as a registrar of the High Court since 2012, also failed to meet the threshold to join the Environment and Lands Court. For a while now, there have been bad blood between the executive and the judiciary, with the president having vowed to revisit matters. And just recently, matters went south after the 5-judge bench ruled that the BBI process was unconstitutional.
The judiciary would have asked itself another question. Can Kenya truly be a democracy if the people are denied the opportunity to express their sovereign and supreme choice at the ballot box on the basis of elevating technicalities?
The Judicial Service Commission will have to give further directions on the judges who fail to meet the threshold and decide whether they will continue to serve where they are currently or they will have to be fired. Chris Tharu, KTN News.
And that is the story of those that have been rejected. However, among them was the 34 other judges that were appointed by President Kenyatta. 7 judges will serve in the Court of Appeal and others in the Employment and Labor Relations Court, as well as the Environment and Land Court. So here is our senior political reporter Jeff Kirui with those details.
After a protracted war between the executive and the judiciary that has lasted more than 2 years, President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally appointed 34 judges out of the 40 that were nominated, after one, Harrison Okeche, died in October last year. The Judicial Service Commission had nominated 41 judges to serve in various courts. In a Gazette notice, President Kenyatta has appointed 7 out of 11 to the Court of Appeal, among them Justice Francis Tuyot, Lady Justice Omondi Helen Amolo, Justice Pauline Nyamweya, Justice Msaga Mbogoli, Dr. Kibaya Imana Laibuta, Lady Justices Desi Lesit and Mumbi Ngugi. The appointment raising the number of the judges at the Court of Appeal from the current 13 to 20. The appointment comes at the time the Court of Appeal is stretched. This is after Lady Justice Martha Koome was appointed to be the Chief Justice and William Ouko as Supreme Court Judge.
The court shall adjourn.
The appointed judges could ultimately be named by the newly elected President of Court of Appeal Daniel Musinga to join him, Anna Okwengu and Roslyn Nambuye in the 7-judge bench to hear the BBI appeal from June 29th. At the Employment and Labor Relations Court, President Kenyatta has appointed all the judges nominated by JSC, save for deceased Harrison Okeche, who was also fronted to serve in the court. The appointees being Jacob Kariuki, Bahari Christine, Jemima Wanza Kelly, Mwaure Ann Gibuini, Matanga Banadodongo Manani, Ruto Stella Chemtai, Kebira Ocharo, Kituku Agnes Mweninzei and David Njagi Nderitu. At the Environment and Land Court, President Kenyatta has rejected 2, appointing 18 to serve in the courts. Among those appointed include Joseph Mboya, Lucas Leperezole Naikuni, Dena Adraya Eda, Kimani Lilian Gadhoni, Koros Ann Yatich Kipingor, among others. Jeff Kirui, KTN News.
And to talk more about this, I'm now joined by Mercy Deche. She